Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Carolina Outdoor Adventures TV. On today's show, what we're going to be doing is we're going to show you some different baits that we use to catch coolers full of nice sized eating catfish. We're going to be down on the Santee Cooper lakes. We're going to be fishing a river type condition in the diversionary canal, which is one of my favorite ways to fish. And we're also going to show you how to use baits, dip baits and things like that, and how they work versus other kind of baits. Now, a lot of guys, if you want to, catch big, giant 25, 35, 40 pound catfish, they'll use cut bait or live bait. And don't get me wrong, I like catching them big fish too. But today's show is going to be for you, the average fisherman or the beginner who wants to learn how to use these different type of baits to catch fish. So don't go away, we'll be right back here in just a little bit from the Santee Cooper Lakes in Santee, South Carolina. We'll be right back. Catfish of the, oh man, first catfish of the day.
Let's take a hole.
Oh yeah.
Listen in.
Channel cat, I can tell where he's swimming. Looks like a good one too. Probably need a net. I'm going to bring him up on this side.
I need to move on, run that in.
You're fine. I'm just going to, fine. I'll try to bring him up right behind us. Yeah.
I think you do.
Come on, baby. Now that was that's on the dip bait. How long was that out there?
Not even a minute.
Minute?
Not even a minute.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. By gosh, she is. Look at that.
The hook's in the net.
We just barely, if I had let any slack up, he'd come off just as he got in the net, didn't he? Try not to hurt you there, fish. You see, that ain't gonna happen. He's got that darn thing tied around him, doesn't he? First fish of the day. Can't complain about that.
No.
I get it. There you go. Now all you gotta do is keep him out of the trees.
Keep out the other line too.
Need a net. If you have to, what we do is just pick up the rod. You got the baby. Well, at least you got the baby out of the way, huh?
Yeah, I got some more. I got no line.
Oh! Don't you start spinning around and get them lines messed up anymore with your catfish. Can you see it? They don't like to open their mouth, do they?
No.
Well, here's the hook. You got the hook. What's he doing with the line? That one's free. There we go.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you buy that net. I'll let you wind that net. Big Jim got one.
All right. Right. Thanks a lot for sharing your fish.
All right, you can go.
This one feels, this is a catfish.
That was on.
This is on the dip bait.
Pink bait.
We caught We caught the striper on the herring, but we're catching all of our catfish on the dip bait. This dip bait, folks, isn't a bait to come out and catch big ones. If you want to catch quantity, then this is what you need to use. No. This is what you need to use if you want to catch quantity. If you want to catch quality, I'd go with live bait, cut bait, anything but a dip bait. It's just not known to be a big fish bait. But I'm not saying you can't catch them on it. You just won't catch as many as you would on the cut bait or the live bait. Yeah. Huh?
What are y'all fishing for?
Catfish.
Whatever bites.
Well, Jim says whatever bites. Right now, we got some stink bait on these catfish poles and catching catfish. I caught that striper a while ago on cut bait on herring.
Okay, all right. Well, good. That means
All right.
catching a striper means you're not fishing quite deep enough.
Them are just right.
They laying on the bottom.
Just right to bring home.
Okay.
And
Well, good. I'm glad.
we're talking to Alan. He's talking to Randall.
Yeah, he's getting. JB's filming.
We're
Alan
jumped on the boat with us, so we're reeling some in. We're catching some fish. We're having a good time, and maybe Randall can make it down next time. But them are really good eating size. Really good eating size right there. But let me get him back in.
Nothing,
This is a nice one. Get out of that tree. This is a nice one. Come up here, Debbie, so the sun don't kill me. I'm going to take him on this side of the boat. This is a little bit bigger than the last few we caught. If you're just tuning in today to today's show, everybody, we're fishing down here on Santee Cooper Lake, trying to catch some Thanksgiving Day catfish. I got Alan Greer from the Triad Bait Company with me on the boat. And so far, we've been doing pretty good. This is probably what, number 5, number 6?
Five.
And a striper, and we've only been out here on the lake, I don't know, maybe we've been out here 45 minutes, so we're having a good time catching them. We can't get the boat set up right, so the sun's probably beating us up a little bit, but there you go. I'm catching them right on the end too. Easy to unhook them.
Right.
Yeah.
The way he ain't swallowing them, just right.
Yeah. All right.
That's a good eater there.
Let's get another one. We're just all the flood water we've had. The water's really high in the current. If you can see, the camera catches it, you can see the current moving. I had trouble anchoring the boat, but whenever in this diversionary canal, whenever they're pulling water like this is the place to be. I love fishing this kind of water where the current, especially with dip bait and live bait or cut bait, I love fishing this kind of water, but I also love drifting. They just happen to be biting here right now, so why go out in the lake and drift if you can catch them here? So maybe here after lunch they'll change and we'll have to go out there and drift fish, but if you're going to come down here in the diversionary canal, just remember that. If they're pulling water, especially like they are right now, that's the best time to come up here and set up. You don't have to drift it up and back and forth. You can. A lot of guys do that. You do it the best way that works for you. I just like anchoring the boat and sitting and fishing the shoreline, because all on this shoreline, there's all kinds of structure, all kinds of riprap on the bottom, and logs and trees and rocks. And that's what catfish like. So just remember that. Hey, camera lady, you got a dot on your lens.
Hit that one.
Yeah, reel him in, will you?
Well, you get that.
He's off.
You happy on the treasure?
Man, that was a big one too.
A big and got away, always
man,
does.
that was a big one, yeah. Let me give you some line here. That's what you call a tubing, okay? And that's what holds them. They have been sponges. I don't like the sponges. That's the original thing that they use, okay? I don't like the sponges.
You got a bunch of them from gas lines off boat motors, don't you?
You can. But what I like to do, one thing you got to do with this is you got to get this thing dry before you put that stuff on it.
Really?
If it ain't dry, it won't stick.
Huh.
And then after you dry it off and you put it on, then you wet it. And that activates the plasma and makes it stick. Just dry it off good. And you just push it.
That's what you made, that right there,
This right here is, yeah, this is something that we make. And you just put that down in there.
Pack the tube.
Pack that right up full. Don't be afraid of wasting it because that's how it catches fish. And then you wet it. And that activates the plasma, so when you cast,
Stays on.
Most of it will stay on. Let her on out and hold on. And the original people that made that was Junie's Cat Tracker. Now you got Sonny's makes it, and old Charlie's makes it, but and we're making it.
That probably worked good for carp too, also, right?
I don't know. I've never used it for anything but catfish. It may work good for carp. I don't know. Good question. Well, he's not. No, he's not. He might be a netter fish. I don't know. We had to move. This kind of technique we're fishing, everybody. You don't want to stay very long in one spot. 15 to 30 minutes, and if you're not getting any bites, pick up and move. You'll pull into an area like this, and you'll catch whatever fish is in this area. And then after that, just go ahead and move to someplace, move down. All we've done is we moved down about 40 to 50 feet and just came down to this next snag. And all we're doing is coming down this diversionary canal and fishing snag after snag after snag all the way down. And that's how we're getting our fish. Another good frying pan size. Take a big frying pan though, won't it? Remember now, if you can't get that.
Man, it hooks out. It's just got it.
Here we go. Okay. Yep.
Got that in there.
Nice one. What I'm doing, folks, if you see this snag right here, and we pulled the boat down in front, and this thing's probably about 30 feet behind the boat right here. This rod's not out very far, but them last two fish I caught was right here. And I'm just putting the dip bait on there, and I'm just lopping it off so it just drops about a foot in front of that tree. And I guess there's probably 2 or 3 catfish underneath there and in this brush, and that smell from that dip bait pulls them out. We haven't had a bite since we caught that striper, I don't think, Alan, on the herring, have we?
Nope.
It's all been on the dip bait. But it's like I always tell you, folks, I don't care if you're crappie fishing, I don't care if you're brim fishing, cat fishing, take an alternative bait, because I've gone out crappie fishing and them not hit minnows, but they would kill the jigs. They would just jump all over a jig. And it's the same thing with catfish. You can come down here and they might bite the herring. They might take the herring. But if they don't, and that's all you have, if that's the only bait we have, we'd be talking about going in for lunch right now, because, we wouldn't be catching any more fish. But because we've had the dip bait on, we've been able to catch probably upwards of 12 catfish. That's
another one.
Get him.
Still on there?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had another one on that pole.
No.
Is he tangled on that line? That must be. Yeah. He's not very big.
Yeah, you got this line too.
Just a lot of small ones here. What we're going to do, everybody, because we are catching some small ones, and hey, we're having fun, we're having a good time, but we're going to pick up here in a little bit, and we're going to move out there. If you look way behind me down there, you'll see them 2 markers. And that water out there comes up over a rock ledge, and then it drops down in the back to about 30 feet. My little secret I'm letting you have, so when you come down here, you'll know where to go. But that drops off to about 30 feet there, and that's a good spot. So we're probably going to do that here in just a little bit, because we're catching a lot of small ones, and these are all right. Throw him back. We'll get a little bit bigger one and bring him back. So we're gonna try a few more in here and get a few more fish. Along with the small ones comes a big one every now and then, but you'll see us here eventually, way down there in the back, and you can see that water where the current's coming out of here so hard, it's breaking over them rocks, stirring up that water. So that's going to be a good spot to go and catch some catfish. Fish on! Fish on! Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Is that what we after?
Well, he's just dragging in. He's not even fighting yet.
No, he don't even know he's hooked.
As you can see, we've moved out, like I said, we're going to out here in the lake. And we threw this rod out with the dip bait. It's probably been out here 5 minutes. And we're in a hole. We're in about a 18-foot hole right here. And right over here, it's about 5 feet deep. And we're fishing in this hole. And we got us a small channel cat to start. These fish are so strong right now because of this current, because of all the rain and the flood waters we've had. These fish have had to fight this current for weeks now, so they're building up their strength a little bit. That one, but there's a rock ledge all the way through here, and the diversionary comes down, and the water's coming over this rock ledge, dropping and depositing food into this hole. Now, I come across here with the depth finder, and I'm the one to not just fish anywhere. I'm fishing fish. Where we are set up right here, there's fish back here in this hole. We marked them on the depth finder. So, but what happens is any food up there is being deposited right in this hole right here. So these catfish are sitting in here, and it's an easy meal for them. They just wait for it to come over and drop down in the hole. I want to do a thing on this rig I'm using, Debbie. All right. What we got is I'm using 25-pound test big game, and because of all the current that we have here, I'm coming down to a 2-ounce egg sinker, and I've got a swivel on there. Okay, and that reason I put a swivel on there is because if you're using herring or this tubie, that line is turning like this constantly. So you don't want, this will keep your line from getting tangled up. And then what I'm doing right there is just using a clinch knot, just tying my hook on. And then I use that tubie to hold my bait. Now this dip bait that we're using is a system. And what I mean by it's a system is you have the dip bait, and then you have this tubie, and with this tubie what that does is it holds that dip bait on there. And once I get that hook on, you can see how that tubie is. I just pull that hook right through there like that, and that hook is sticking out. And then you dry this off and get your dip bait out. Hopefully I won't lose all of our killer bait over the edge of the boat, Alan.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
And don't be afraid to use a good bit. Now that really looks kind of spooky. I can imagine what it looks like, but you ought to be in here on the boat with us. But that's what's catching all the fish, so just keep that in mind. Once again, we've got 3 rods out here with herring. So far we haven't had a bite. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I know a lot of guys that strictly live bait and strictly cut bait guys, but that would be a day you'd be out here not catching a fish. You agree?
Right. You won't catch none today, about
that. No, we wouldn't have caught many today on herring. All right, back out in the hole.
There he is. There he is. You got that little fish?
Yep.
I know it ain't no big one.
Yeah, he's not. But it's better than nothing.
Oh yeah. At least we're gonna find out what that little bite was.
Yeah. Everybody for tuning in, and I'd also like to thank Alan Greer from the Triad Bait Company in Lexington, North Carolina, for joining us on the boat here this week. Like always, folks, thanks for tuning in, and I'm Jim from Carolina Outdoor Magazine TV. We'll catch you somewhere next week in the great outdoors when we do it all again. Thanks for watching.